Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Tijara podcast. And I'm here joined by the CEO and founder of Automation Solutions.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah for having me here with you.
Wayyakum, wayyakum. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, good. Good weekend. It was really nice and sunny weekend.
Alhamdulillah. All right. So let's jump right in. So, what is Automation Solutions?
So automation solutions. The whole idea of automation solutions is to enable both manual tester, project manager, test developer, test automation developer, everyone to collaborate in creating test automation. So you may have heard that for test automation you need to learn coding, Selenium, Appium, all these different tools. And what we do is we enable anybody with some kind of testing background or zero testing background to be able to automate test case without writing any line of code, all using web-based test framework.
Interesting. So it's like no code for testing, kind of.
That's correct. We do have different extensions from it. We have an AI component that automatically does a lot of thinking for you, heavy lifting. Then we also have project management that can integrate with your development lifecycle, on Git commits, and all that can be all automated fully using our tool.
Nice, nice. But the main core of Automation Solution is basically writing unit tests, or sorry, test cases with no code.
Yes, we do both. API testing, database testing, web automation. We even had a project where we did an IoT, so we embedded our test framework into IoT devices. So yeah, it's extremely flexible, and at the same time, you basically have the full power of it to utilize for both your manual testers and your advanced development team.
Nice, nice, very very cool. So taking a step back, I know you and I go way back from the BlackBerry days. So what got you started with this idea? Like, was it a problem that you were seeing at BlackBerry? Was it something that you want to do on your personal time, or how did you come up with this idea?
Yeah, good question. Every business obviously have a story, and we are not different. So how did we come here in 2021? We started in 2013. That initial idea came about. So I was a team lead at BlackBerry during that time, and I had overall about 20 people reporting, both the manual and automation combined. The challenge was that when it came to release every month or so, I would spend at least 3 4 days doing nothing but gathering all the different reporting from all my testers, from offshore, local automation test reports, and syncing with the manual team and so on. The idea was that that was one of the challenge. Second was that when we were onboarding our manual testers into the automation, because usually the feature testers, the manual testers, they write the test cases, the tester who are designing the features, and they hand it off to the automation guy to automate. And this whole communication gap, and on top of that, manual testers trying to educate the features and how it's supposed to work with automation. These are automation framework that are designing the test cases. There's a gap in communication. So the concept was that why should manual tester talk with the automation developer to come up with the framework or keywords so that they could write the test cases? So that's basically where the initial idea about came about, that okay, we should have a framework that could be used by manual testers without talking to any automation developers, and that's basically where it all originated from.
Nice. So you were running into a problem, and you wanted a solution for that. How'd you go from that idea, the inception of that idea, to automation solutions? Like, what was sort of the next steps?
Yeah. So the next step was obviously to connect with various other test leaders within the Waterloo region. As you know, Waterloo is a tech hub. So I reached out to a bunch of my other friends who were in this industry of QA, test automation architecture, QA manager, manual testers, from Oracle to Google to many other, to see how they operate and what type of tooling do they use. And it turned out they all had the same challenge, pretty much. So no one had a clear answer for me that says, okay, use this tool. This will do all your manual testing, your reporting automatically. Your manual tester can automate test cases without writing any code. It didn't exist at all. Uh, so that triggered me to connect with a couple of other colleagues and friends from different locations, different continent almost, to come up with brainstorming ideas about these are our challenges. So we had a big whiteboard where we basically almost for 6 months collected only two words of the challenge and the pain point, and whether there's a solution or not didn't matter. We just collected all of them, and after that we started an open source project. It was absolutely no intention to make money. It was purely to solve that problem. Yeah, then that's basically, and then I hired two co-op students from Bangladesh. My background is Bangladesh, because I could afford only co-op student at that time. So with their help and with my help and my other friends, we basically started building this platform. It's a cloud-based test management slash automation. Yeah.
Nice. So this sort of gets into the details of how you sort of bootstrapped your own company. So at this point, you set up like some sort of service that now you're thinking about developing. There's no monetization in sight at the moment.
Yeah, no, no. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was just saying I was stupid. That, I didn't have anyone to
Ambitious.
tell me what to do and what not to do. So if I had known that this was not going to be an open source, I would have done a couple of things differently. Not that it matters now, because we've corrected
It's
whatever we
sorry, it
could.
started as open source, but now it's closed source. I
Yes.
see. I see. Oh,
Yes. So we, um, that's basically what I was saying. That the how did we switch? Let's say from open source to closed source. When did I realize that? Well, I want to do business from it. Is actually, as I mentioned before, that I was connecting with various different colleagues and connections with my own internal connections. I ran into someone from AT&T. He was a delivery manager at AT&T for testing, and they were struggling. This is back in the days of 2013, when Android just was coming on board. Like Android became, Android that people were adapting, and back in the days, they had to deal with large volume of, as you know, AT&T is one of the largest company. They had like 200 different variant of Android devices that they had to go through testing, and they were mainly doing manually, most of them at that time. So when I presented him the framework, I was just promoting him to use it, and he's like, but who's going to provide support for it? And I'm
hmm.
like, well, it's open source. You have all the code. You can manage it. Yes. So that's when he said, "Well, that's not going to work because I need you the full time to work with me, because I'm going to need support. Otherwise, I can't. I can rely on an open source that's not known to the world." So then he offered me a job, uh, a U.S. quite high-paying job,
Hmm.
and he offered me to purchase the tool. And he basically said that, I will own X amount of share. I'll pay you this much for the current work, and this is what I'm offering you. At that time I realized, oh wow, this could be a business
Hmm.
that I could make. So that's basically when I realized that, okay, there is no solution in the world at that time. At least now there are many,
Hmm.
and these are the regrets I have, in terms of, if I had gone with him, where would where would we be in terms of, you know,
If you'd gone where? Sorry, if you'd gone.
if I had taken his offer
Oh, I see. Oh, you did
and
not take his
implemented,
offer.
I did not.
Oh, I see. I see. I see.
Otherwise, I would be giving him 50% share, and I would be taking 50% share, and AT&T would have been our biggest client. So um, these are the, I think you can say whatever way you want to put it, mistake or lesson learned. But yeah, that's basically how you adapt and you learn.
All right. So I want to dig into why you didn't take the offer. So what was some of the reasons behind you not taking the offer?
Yeah, 50%. That's too much. And when I discussed this with a couple of other people, um, and again, I didn't discuss enough with enough people, I guess you could say. Consulting that I received or advices that I received, majority of the people basically said, this is not, he's asking for too much. And what if, the deal doesn't go through and it doesn't work out with AT&T? You're going to leave BlackBerry, you're going to be out of job, all that, all the different negative. I guess I heard way too many negatives than I heard any positive suggestions.
But going back to that same time, would you have accepted the offer now?
I think what I learned to do is not to say no. Um, so you should never say no to a deal without anything. You should, because I could ask, "Hey Ali, can you give me $10,000?" And you are probably gonna say no. But if I just give up on that and that's
Hmm.
it, but if I say, "Hey Ali, how much do you have? How much can you give me? Can you lend me?" Then it's a different story.
I see. I see. So basically, what you're trying to say is maybe if you would have negotiated.
Yeah, I didn't have any negotiation skills or anything like that. Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
So did AD&T become your first customer then?
No, 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 no. There were a couple of others. There were a few actually, because what happened was that as we started building the product, and this is past, let's say, 2013, 2014-ish time. We had a working product that no one in the market has even close to it. HP were probably one of the top at that time. This is like 2000, uh, maximum 2013, middle of it or toward the end of it. Um, so whenever someone saw it, someone with the business mind, they kind of knew right away the potential for the tool. So there's another person that offered very similar concept. They wanted 51%. They wanted to take full control. They will, again, everyone that I talked with, they wanted to put in money. Maybe it was me presenting myself how I presented. Maybe they realized that this person cannot really run the business. He doesn't have any experience. Maybe that is the reason why they all wanted took full control of the business. And and yeah, another person asked pretty much the same offer. They were working with Ford at that time. They provide basically all of Ford's and a few other embedded software testing, and obviously the web application. And they had other clients as well, and they wanted to implement that on their entire network. But that contract or that discussion was more like I actually went there to take suggestions. How do I take this product to a business? And a friend of mine introduced, hey, he's a good businessman, you should talk with him, he can give you advices. And after half an hour of demo of the product, he was sold, he wanted to buy it.
Nice. So how'd you bootstrap your company financially?
Yeah, no, borrowing money is obviously um, an option.
Hmm.
uh, but my intention was never to anytime I felt that my vision, the vision, by the way, is a much much deeper and longer vision that I had laid out. Remember, I said that I selected two words. That was almost like a 4 by 6 whiteboard of some sort. It was completely filled with ideas of just two words. I would only allow myself to put two words in there, and at least 20% of them have not been fulfilled yet. Uh, so we still have a long way to go. And whenever I talk with somebody, if I saw that their vision was not aligned with mine, that's when I basically didn't want to talk at all. Yeah. So having that vision is very very important. So if you are going to take money from somebody, I think it's critical that you understand that they also understand your vision.
Nice, nice. So that's I see. So then, so most of the offers that you got were sort of either not in your favor, or were moving you in a direction where you didn't want to go. So that's why you sort of rejected those. So then,
Exactly. But the
no,
rejection part, I just want to highlight.
mhm.
I wouldn't reject them now. I would do bargaining with them
Got it,
now
got it.
if I wanted to go that direction. Yeah. Let me play this out with you. Let's say you are either the AT&T or the second person like that I was talking about,
Hmm.
and you ask me that. So how I would talk right now would be that, hey X, I really like your idea. I'm really interested in it. But how about we go a bit slow first? I really want to work with you. I think we'll be a great partner. But I want to try this out to see if this will work with us. How about, for the next 6 months or 3 months, you select a small project that we work together, and see where that takes us. If we're able to connect, if I'm able to provide you the solutions, it's that we both see how things will work out, and we'll take it from there. So what that would have done is that it would put the ball on his court, and then he would say, well, he doesn't really have so much to say against it, hopefully, or in your case, you, in this case. So that, let's say that the person says, okay, let's try with this small project. You are in now,
Hmm. That's
right?
true. Yeah.
Now you have implemented your solution in their system, and he's now benefiting. He's now getting real feedback from the users actually using it, and they will be probably, hopefully, if you have a good product, they'll be raving you and saying, this is what we want, we don't want anything else, right? And when it gets to that point, now all the chips are on your hand. Now you can say, no, I am not giving you any share, or I'm going to give you 5%. uh, Live it or take it. You're not going to have any company, and this is how much money I want, or something like that.
Basically, try and develop some sort of leverage so that you have a better position in that negotiation, right?
Yes, because when you're starting up, when you're small, when you're tiny or non-existence, you can ask for anything and you don't have anything to say. Like at that time, I don't have a client. I didn't have a client, right? Paying client. What could have I asked for? Like, yeah. So that's basically, yeah.
So let's say to play devil's advocate. So that person, let's say, was a bit aggressive and said, you know what, now we're in a better position. I've seen your product, and I actually want to say I want the same deal, 51%, take it or leave it.
Yeah. So let's say, in this case, the person, whoever it is, they don't mind share. They see the big prospect. The business opportunity is really big, and it's going in the right direction. Then you could decide that, do you want to give him 51%? If, let's say, we're going to go in two routes. Yeah, sure. I don't mind. I don't have the headache of the business. I still have my 49% share, and I'm getting salary, and I'm getting profit sharing, and I give him the business. Let's say, but I now have all the tooling I need and so on. Then I would consider this, that evaluate or discuss with others who are veteran, is that value come up with a valuation of your company, and then put a number to it. That's how you basically say, okay, I'm okay with that if you are willing to pay me $2 million upfront,
I see.
and then you own 51%. Or if you pay me 500,000, then you can take 10% or 20%. Like, these are the discussion. Again, you never say no. So there's always a breaking point. So I am as much passionate I could be with the product. uh, I have a I have a selling price at the end of the day. So if someone comes with a good money, then I'm like, okay.
So even right now, you would be okay selling your company if they would give you a good price.
If they give me a good price and the terms and conditions are good, as long as I can take care of everyone that is involved in the company. So these are the few things that I basically make sure that values for me, that everyone that has been involved with the company, I would also take their permissions, even though they don't own a share or anything like that. I would make sure that that they are okay with it. And again, everyone has a price. Uh, this tool or software, anything that we talk about, I'm not taking that with me after
You
I'm
can't take
dead.
it to the grave. Yeah, yeah. So
No. So
fair enough. So, but like, so to just to press you on that. So, would you in that situation, would you be okay taking that price, taking that 49%, and then staying with the company as an employee? I guess.
if at that point he offered, if there were a significant offering, so meaning that if he said that, okay, I'll give you $1 million and I'll take 51%. If I go back in time, then maybe I would, and I should have probably. If he gave me 1 million, I don't know if he would, because I never uh, went with rebuttal. Yeah, I basically, as soon as he said that way, and he was very aggressive, I'm like, okay, I'm done talking with you, and that's it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I'm sort of on the other side. I don't know if I'll either take the basically sell the company. I guess for me it's like either sell the company or stay as an executive and then run the product and run the show. Um,
Yeah, it depends, right? At the end of the day, I have other business ideas that I can do. So if I had that 1 million cash, uh, then maybe I would still be able to do other. I have many other plans in life that I can do right now.
Interesting. Okay, so going back to that point where you said, you're meeting all these people and they're trying to invest. Who was your real first customer? Like, who were the five first customer that started paying you?
So 2015, a CEO of a company basically reached out to me directly, and he basically said that, leave BlackBerry. I will help you start your company, because he kind of knew what I was going through about, that I have this product, I want to make a business out of it, like that pressure point that if X goes into somewhere continuously, will I? And it wasn't much, right? So from a co-op student back home, I'm sure you can imagine in Pakistan or India or Bangladesh, if a student in second year or third year,
Yeah, you can get
uh,
half the price, like
well, I would say more like 1/5 of the
one for
price of co-op
the.
student here.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, and it was good experience for me as well. I wanted to help them
Managing
as
a
well.
team overseas. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, just to going back to your question, the turning point was that this CEO of the company, I gave a demo, and he basically right away said, "Okay, I want to implement this solution in my organization. I want to bring you in as a QA consulting, as a QA manager slash consulting, to drive the test automation and testing best practices." And so the deal was signed with roughly um, about $15,000. Oh no, a little bit more than that, $18,000 per month, which literally gave the lifeline to the company. So there were many moments and times where I was going to go back to those people and agree to their offer, uh, but this basically gave me the full confidence. And most importantly, by 2013 and so on, some companies were trying it, and I'll go a bit more details on that. When you soft launch a product, some of the common mistakes and stuff. But most importantly, I was very fortunate to have that person sort of almost sponsor us in a way, because it was a very, very early stages, but obviously we polished it nicely so that it looks like it's a mature product. And they hired basically our testing services, which is basically what we offer. So we offer, turnkey solution where you take testers from us. We hired them from Bangladesh, or South, from, yeah, and we drive the project, the complete project. So that, it was a very much cost saving for them, because they had about 7 or 8 testers in California. So you can imagine California salary. So that got reduced down to only 3 testers offshore and 2 testers locally. That was a huge cost saving, and they were all manual testers in California, but the cost was obviously lot higher.
I see. So that person, so that company was the first official sort of the customer of your company of
That's
Automation
right.
Solution. So then, do
Yeah.
you think that?
Paying,
Sorry,
paying client,
paid. Yeah,
paying
yeah,
client.
yeah, paying client. Fair enough. Fair enough. So then, do you think after that point, did that unlock other customers?
That's where I would say that I made a lot of mistakes. So I am a technical person, and my focus basically 90% was strictly on getting the product and features after features after feature, that I told you about, that we still have 20% features to kind of put through. And maybe at that time we were around maybe 20% or 30% at max of where we are right now. um, so we were just jamming in features after features, and that's basically where all the focuses were. And that's not the right way to do it. The right way, I think, at least right now, if I was to go back, I would probably dedicate a small portion of my time on new features. And because we were getting enough revenue to hire at least 2 or 3 other full-time developers to work on it. So I would probably invest on that and create a self-sustaining life cycle. And that didn't happen because it didn't happen in 2015. It didn't happen until 2019. So that's uh, a long time of making same mistakes over and over again.
So you said that if you would have done differently, what you're saying you would have concentrated more on what then? Like if you're not working on the technical
Yeah.
side, what you
So
would have done?
let me kind of fast track, and maybe I'll jump a little bit off your agenda. But COVID 19 really, really, really hurt us. And it taught our company the biggest lesson, uh, which is basically, well, our revenue went all the way down to like maybe 30 or 40% of our peak during COVID. And during that time, we obviously had a lot of overhead costs, but we sustained, and with the help of government and all that other stuff, and our we had a pretty healthy, I guess you can call it, savings. As a small company, it was quite large in terms of that. So that's basically what we kind of floated on it. Uh, it is building that you have to kind of remove you from the cycle. So I was the sales, I was the marketing, I was the testers, I was the developer, I was everything. And it's what we have done, or what I've done in last, let's say, 2 years, is really separate each pieces of the business. So what is the business? You cannot have a business unless you do marketing. And if you do marketing, you still need to sell the product. So marketing means somebody comes and tells you, okay, I want to see what you have. Um, and sales is trying to sell it. Okay, this is what we have. You need it, because this is going to do X, Y, Z for you. And then the hardest one. It's the support, and that's where I failed the most. So right before COVID, we invested a bit of marketing money, like about, let's say, $3,000 per month.
On
Um,
Facebook ad, like what
uh,
marketing?
Various different, like LinkedIn to like online SEO and things like, not Facebook. I never ventured out on Facebook.
Got it, got it. Well, I mean, that's not your
Um,
demographic anyway. Like that's the, I think maybe.
Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I that's a plan, but
Fair enough.
that was enough.
Got it.
So we had, demo requests coming from Delegate, to TD, to like U.S. Army,
Oh wow.
Adobe. So, and because our tool is that capable, because it's very diverse, and we just fell flat because it was like they liked the product. Okay, now set us up. Okay, we did set them up for POC, and now provide support to them. So just imagine 5 demos were coming every week.
Oh wow. So the
And
marketing was working.
oh yes, marketing. That's why I said first hurdle is to figure out how you're going to do marketing. Then it's selling. All right, can you sell? So funny thing is, the client that we sold, meaning we signed a contract, they signed a contract almost a year and a half ago. A year and a half ago, they will start paying us from next month. So that's all because everything got in a chaos.
During COVID.
Um, well, I would say post pre-COVID is when we were doing exponential. Like it, if I had, let's say, if our company had a good sales cycle, support cycle, marketing cycle,
Yeah.
we would be making at least $1 million a month. That would have been where we would have been.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
But everything kind of collapsed on us, especially COVID, with the combined effect of COVID. So there were about 7 to 10 companies. They signed initial draft for, this is not POC, this is post POC, and all of them put a hold on uh, due to COVID. And on top of our existing client, most of them reduced at least 40-50%, and at least maybe 20 or 30% basically shut down their business because they couldn't survive after a month long, after a year long. So that's basically the time when I uh, kind of went on to a mode where we basically said, okay, we're not going to give any more demo. We're not looking at any more things because we can't. And we're going to try to fix the problem, which is, when a demo comes, how do we onboard a client? What is the process that we have for onboarding a client? And once the customer is onboarded, how do we provide support to them? Like because it's not a Word document or something like that. Even Word document, you need support, right? How do you insert a table with, you may have equation in there? How do you do that? Like, I don't
No, I
know.
mean there are
So
full-time people who actually do like customer onboarding and like the account management. This is
account management. So there are so many of these small pieces that were all done half by me, half by somebody else, and it was completely in a crazy, disorganized fashion because we were about to grow massively with absolutely no plan. So I basically shut down all of that, and I had to actually, because we basically ate from our saving for almost like 9 months, almost 9 months,
oh wow.
and then I basically took a consulting job to be able to sustain the business, uh, and then, but doing that, what I did is it enabled me to step away from the business and kind of look at it as a 1,000 feet higher ground, that what is happening.
So what were
The
your findings? And yeah,
um, yeah, so the biggest challenge was everyone were capable of doing everything that we had as a team in Bangladesh, but I did not allocate anyone any responsibility. I did not guide anyone that, hey, this is your job. You run this show. And when you, let's say I bring you on board tomorrow, and if I tell you, okay, Ali, your job is to, whenever a new client comes, whenever a new client asks for new features, you're going to talk and find out what the feature they want, why they want it, and do we already have that feature. If I give you one task, you would be fine. You would not have any issues addressing that. But if I told you, okay, talk with this client and figure out what to do, and that's it,
it's
you would not know.
yeah, it's not specific enough, and it's
The
not yeah.
instructions were very vague. So it's, I would say, all of it is on me to blame. Like basically, at the end, when you are the founder, every blame goes on you, every success goes on you, right? um, so what I did is basically I have very specifically guided individuals, like three or four different people, having a very specific role, that this is their role. And when they kind of didn't meet the requirement, I basically made sure that, yeah, hey, you're missing this, you're dropping the ball, let's do it this way. And they didn't agree. So then we cycle back and like, okay, how do we tweak it? So these are all minor tweaking that happened. So once, or at least once we put those, I guess you can call it bucket, into places properly, then it was much much easier. So as an example, um, last last 2 weeks we had about three demos, and all three of them onboarded with us. Two of them signed contract, and I was involved 0 minute.
Nice, nice.
So that is the first success we had without me. And yeah, so this, there's still a lot more work to be done. It's not done yet, but putting those places, onboarding, sales, support, that is the hardest part.
So when you were going through it, I know at one point you said that you recognized the problem, and then but you guys were making similar mistakes over and over again. But so at that point, did you think, oh, hiring someone external could have fixed it, or it was just your sort of growing into or like understanding what the solutions were, which is what you said that you had to guide your team to be able to do certain certain specific tasks.
Yeah, I'll try to kind of rewind back time and see why I did that. So it was like, imagine five demo requests coming every week. Um, so I had about 12 or 13 hours of work schedule every day. So now, if I took 1 hour or 2 hours off, then something would fall apart. Either a our product would stop working because we've uh, got completely unsynchronized with many things, and or one of the client would be not interested anymore for demo, or I would have lost a demo scheduling or something like that. And also, just going back to what you're saying, that would it have helped if I had hired somebody?
Hmm.
um, I think it would definitely, but we didn't have enough money. This was, we started at a big force of marketing. I don't think we should have done that. I think we should have spent, instead of $3,000 or something a month, maybe we should have spent $500, so that it comes in trickling in, their demo requests and so on, so that we could slowly grow. So growing pain, I guess, at the end of the day, what we faced. But fortunately, Alhamdulillah, we were able to crush, and we were able to reset again. And that's basically where we are now. So we're almost back to, last, I would say, 6 months, we almost tripled our revenue and profit margin.
Alhamdulillah. That's good to hear. So at one point, was your company generating 1 million in revenue?
Sorry. Yeah, okay. No, sorry. That was projected, meaning if we had gone at that rate, and if we had continued to go at that rate, that was it could have been. Um, but what we are in the range right now is about 40K a month, alhamdulillah,
Okay, that's
as
that's
a
just revenue, profit,
profit,
profit.
roughly.
Okay, mashallah.
Yeah.
That's really really. So that's a bit able
Yes.
to sustain you. You're not doing consulting anymore.
Yeah, no, I am still doing consulting because I remember I said that, being about 1,000 foot top, it gave me that flexibility now to actually. So another, I missed to add one information. During the time when we collapsed, I basically stopped checking my email for one of the account that actually gets demo request. And when I went back after like a couple of months later, there were 150 demo requests.
Oh wow, wow,
Uh,
wow. That's like all
in
missed opportunities.
I don't have a single regret for it. So we picked four. I guess the last four actually replied back. We replied to all of them, but everyone's. It's been more than a year now, so no one replied back. But the four replied back, and all four, alhamdulillah, we converted to paying
Wow,
client.
alhamdulillah.
So that's a very, very, very high turnaround rate, if you think about it that way. And so yeah, so we're much much stronger now, and maybe we would have lost all of them if we had tried to reach out to all of them. That's how I see it
Fair
right
enough.
now.
No, I think you guys needed a like a take a step back. You especially analyze the company, see what things were the bottlenecks, and then fix those.
Exactly. We still have, as I mentioned, still a lot more improvement to be made in our processes, but everyone is on board now. Everyone sees the benefit. Everyone sees the revenue coming in. So when money is not coming in, employees, they, even though they're getting paid, they don't feel good, right? No matter how much more motivation speak that you give, or hopes you give,
Money
at
speaks,
the
yeah.
end, money speaks.
So do you guys have so when you guys win a customer, do you guys have what do you guys use? Slack for internal communication?
No, we used to have Slack. We tried Microsoft Team. We tried Mattermost, by the way, which uh, and finally we settled in with Discord. That's amazing.
Oh, Discord. Okay, settle with Discord. Nice. Do you guys every time you guys win a customer, do you guys get like a message in Discord where with like a bling bling sound or
Like a
something?
bell kind of.
Yeah, like or bell or something. It's
No,
just
no, those are
too
those are
too
silly things.
cringy.
We're not silly people.
Yeah, nice, nice. Yeah, that's too
I'm
cringy.
just joking. We're not there yet, that we're gaining clients every week or something. But once we do, I think maybe we will do something. I was thinking about something. Maybe you can suggest me.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can set up Mattermost. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Nice. So that's I think that covers like the story of Automation Solutions quite comprehensively. So I want to change gears a little bit, and I want to get back to your personal sort of how you enjoy working at Automation Solutions. Like so, like I know you started the company. Do you feel like when you start in the morning, does it feel work to you, or do it's like enjoyment, it's like fun?
Yeah, I think one of the director at BlackBerry told me this thing. He said that um, you're two types. You're either one kind, one of the two kind. You work to live, or you live to work. Um, what I find is that it doesn't matter if it's your business or you're working. To be honest, um,
Work is work, basically.
yeah, and when I worked at Burger King, when I was in high school, I enjoyed going to work. I looked forward to working at Burger King, even if it's cleaning the floor and mopping. Literally, I'm not making jokes here. Like I would even put like oil on the floor, so that I could move faster. because I was at one of the most busiest Burger King um, in downtown Toronto. So and then when I went to Canada Computers, I don't know if you're familiar with that computer store. I worked there as well, and Factory Direct, and every places I worked, and then I worked in some co-op terms. But everywhere I worked, I enjoyed working. So when I worked at BlackBerry, it it is it is what you tell yourself. That's how I feel. So if you say that, oh my God, I need to do this, I need to do that. Oh man, then it's gonna be always you're working to just leave.
Yeah,
It will
working,
never
waiting for
be.
the 5 o'clock.
Yes, if you are working anywhere and you're waiting for 5 o'clock, something is wrong with you or the work you're doing. So when it comes to business, it even amplifies a bit more because you're not working for anyone, yet you're working for everyone. Because
Basically, your customers. You're working for
yes, you're
the.
working
Yeah.
for, at the end of the day, you're always working. So a lot of time I hear people, they say that, I'm working for my business, so I don't feel so exhausted, I can work many hours. I don't know. I don't buy that. At the end, it's integrity you have. Whether you work at a company, you still need to be honest with yourself. Like, is it halal? Like, yeah, if like my dad, you know when I first joined, he gave me this lecture that when you work, make sure not a single second is not earned for the money. So when you think it that way, you can never be a slacker. So we cannot be slacker at the end of the day. And when you're not slacker, you are going to be successful. There is, inshallah, there is no doubt.
Inshallah. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
But just to clarify the question, I did change because of when the crash happened. Again, I told you that sometimes it would be 14 hours, sometimes it would be even more. But on average, it was never less than 12 hours of working, and it's not like working intense, not like small amount of work. So what I did is when I left that whole vicious cycle, I basically said, okay, on the weekend, I'm not going to work at all. So and it happened during the month of Ramadan, so it kind of helped me as well. So I kind of focused on other things, and I said, business will not die if it's not supposed to die. And
Things slow down, but yeah, yeah.
exactly, and we had enough, revenue to our savings to give feed everyone, meaning all our employees. We didn't lay off anybody. We in fact gave raise even though we lost
Oh wow,
all that.
mashallah.
So um, at the end, we just had to make sure that a work-life balance exists. So right now, as an example, I'm making an exception today because of you, obviously. Uh, that I am typically, everyone knows that by 6 o'clock I don't work anymore. Like after 6 o'clock, I don't do anything to do with work. If I talk, it would be casual talk like that we're having right now. So, and I noticed that it helps a lot. It helps to regain your energy. Obviously, I have three kids. They're all like between 10, 6, and 3. So it you need to if you don't spend time, they're the biggest business that you can ever have. So you need to focus on your main business sometimes. I learned to say I'm busy right now. Uh, I never said I'm busy. Yeah, and you need to give your brain a break because
Absolutely.
when you answer a message, it could be, hey, has this commit been pushed yet? Can you approve this? It could take you like 30 seconds to approve it, but that 30 seconds takes away at least another
Half,
45 minutes from your life
yeah, half an hour, 45. Yeah, 100%.
because
Because there's so much context around that. You have to context switch back into that mode. It's just, yeah,
and then
it's,
post that, right? Your
yeah,
brain also needs to wind down, and it's
yeah,
not going to wind down instantly. And but you learned to do that when you are the founder, or when you are the lead or CEO or whatever you want to call it, the title, um, you do need to do a lot of context switching between marketing, sales, to engineering, to testing, to like a lot of different teams as you talk with them. So a context switching is a big task, I think, skill that you must kind of be good at if you're gonna own a company.
That yeah. Or if you're not good at it, I mean, have the aptitude to be able to develop that
Oh, for
muscle.
sure, there are many tricks. I'm pretty sure if you do online, then you'll find lots of suggestions. And
So this was very very informative. To wrap things up, I'm gonna ask you one, or like ask you a few final questions. So,
sure.
um, what is one? I mean, you covered a lot in terms of some of the struggles that you guys went through and some of the key learnings. So I'd say, what was the biggest sort of a key learning from this whole experience of running automation solutions?
Never say no to anybody, from a business point of view, deal point of view. Second, you've got to be structured. Even if you make, let's say, $10 as a profit, make it a cycle that you make $10 without you involved in it. Once you get that entire setup cycle, then for $10 could become, thousands of dollars, and you just basically put effort and time into it. But obviously, there's no business unless you have an idea and then you work for it. So
Right.
that's the given. But
Yeah.
those are the two big challenge, I would say.
Nice. And then, so now that the company is ramping up, what are you like really, really excited about in terms of company growth?
What am I really excited about? I think I mentioned that I have about 20% of some major feature that we need to implement, and that's going to be maybe another year or two, because that would really, no one has ever done it. So I always see business, or read somewhere sometimes, there's three horizons basically. You have to have a product that you can sell right now that competes with all the top dogs, and maybe even better a little bit. You must be working with something that is ahead of the curve, and that you can really place yourself to exceed expectations of people. So someone sees it, they'll be like, "Oh wow, cool!" And this is innovation. And the third horizon is basically that no one has ever thought about anything like this. The third horizon is where we are right now compared to almost like 7 8 years ago. So this is something that, but if we had executed it, obviously it would have been different. So you need to have those three sets of things that, then you're kind of setting yourself up for success.
Creating a system that would actually lends itself easily to grow and be successful, I guess. Yeah. So, what advice would you give someone who's just starting their own business?
um, I don't think there is a single advice or something. And you hear these things all the time. You see on LinkedIn, Facebook, you fall down, get up, you never give up. All those typical things that you hear. That's good, but at the end, you need to have that determination that this is what you're doing, and it is a good chance. There's a good chance it won't work, and that's okay if it doesn't work. As a Muslim, uh, the way I see it is that I really don't care if this business works or if this business goes down tomorrow, because it's going to happen for the best reason, because Allah already decided that this is what's going to happen. I'm going to try my best. I don't think there is anything else to be said, to be honest. Your rizq is not up to you, it's up to Allah. So um, no matter what you do, it's not guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. So even if I give you my business tomorrow, the entire thing, I just write to you, "Hey Ali, this is all yours." There's a if you're not supposed to be gaining anything from it, everything is going to wipe out. So I don't have any advices, to be honest. I just said that just have iman, faith, and try your best and be happy with whatever outcomes you get, and that's all.
Inshallah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam where
So
he said, I'm paraphrasing, where he said, wondrous is a situation of a believer that, if a calamity befalls him, then he's patient, and he's rewarded for it. And if
yes.
something good befalls him, or he gets something good, then he's grateful for it, and then he gets rewarded for it. So Alhamdulillah for for that.
Oh
So either
yes.
way, we're benefiting, alhamdulillah. Nice. So the last question, and I want this podcast to be actionable for people who are listening, is that if what is that one thing that you're having trouble right now, that you're having trouble with right now, that you would pay to get it done?
There are lots of things I'm doing that even right now. um, so writing blog articles, like blogs, is a big, um, for a great thing for SEO. I don't have time for it, but I have great ideas that, okay, I
Nice.
need it.
So if someone were to come in and say, you know what, Riz, I will do some SEO work for you.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you would pay them for it.
and I would, yeah, I would pay whatever the amount is that we agree on. And then obviously our product itself needs testing. If someone says, hey, I want to, um, allocate this much time, and this is what I'm doing, this is what my knowledge is, I want to be able to contribute to this, then that's something, again, these are something I cannot guarantee, but if everything lines up, then sure, why not, if it's benefits. But most importantly, if you can find a client and you bring in a client, that's basically,
Riz is willing to pay you a commission.
yes.
And you know what? Like people, they're like salespeople who are, they know other people and then they could get you clients, and it's possible, right?
I think more than
Um,
sales, it's the technical
agree-
people who will have that connection more, like
right, right, because they're part of the running system. They have
and
high
what,
influence, and they can suggest that. Yeah, yeah,
exactly,
no,
and what the tool that we have, um, it's not, it's not like any other tool. So when someone sees it, when someone uses it, that's why I said, like, you'll hear very, very few to rare that we gave, in last 2 months we gave 4 demos, and all four are becoming our paid client. That's almost unheard of. um
alhamdulillah, yeah.
Alhamdulillah. So yeah, so that's basically, yeah.
Nice. So if someone wants to, learn more about the product, where can they go
They can
and
come to
like play
you,
around with the product?
they can come to you, and so that you can get commission from it.
Inshallah, inshallah.
Inshallah. So yeah, jokes aside, you can go to zeuz.ai. You can reach out to, and seriously speaking, you can reach out to, they can reach out to you, and then, or they can reach out directly to me. uh,
Is there a way to like see the demo of the product online?
yes, there are lots of videos on YouTube,
Got it. Okay, okay.
and we have a channel, so we can share that as well.
What's the channel name?
um, if on YouTube, if you search for Automation Solutions with a Z, I think it will show up.
All right, Jazakallah khair, brother Riz, for hopping on this podcast and sharing all the details about your company, and the struggles that your company went through,
And going through.
and still going through. But alhamdulillah, it's picking things are picking up again.
Yes, alhamdulillah. And Jazakallah for hosting us.
Wa iyyakum wa iyyakum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.